Hello, good morning, and welcome to Sunrise Daily today. I'm Chamberlain Oso.
Good morning, and welcome to the program. I'm Maupe Ogun Yusuf.
And from Lagos, good morning and welcome. I am Bukola Koka.
Okay, so...
Yes, some days you say it's one day it's two. But Buki, it's suddenly great to see you. What happened to the man?
Well, I guess we have to find out somehow. They'll be back soon.
Interesting.
This is the first time we're outnumbering the men on the program, is it?
Well. So what's happening with the FEC? I mean, we heard Mr. Keyamo speaking up yesterday about the Nigeria Air. We know the hoopla about Nigeria Air. Much as he said, look, he didn't want to preempt anything. He didn't want to preempt the president, but they couldn't shut their ears to the hue and cry, including the ones that came through from the National Assembly. I know the senators also were very vocal, the Senate committee, on that matter, about how the former minister, Hadi Sirika, was going about Nigeria Air. So, but what the Minister of Aviation said there spoke volumes. It did tell us probably what to expect about the future of Nigeria Air. So, yes, there still are several questions concerning what happened, why were we deliberately going that path when several other stakeholders, thought that we shouldn't be doing certain things. But Mr. Keyamo, I don't know if we get to listen to what he did say at that FEC meeting, because, yes, it just gives us an inkling of what to expect from the presidency.
Before the commencement of the Federal Executive Council meeting, President Bola Tinubu swears in 8 new permanent secretaries at the council chamber of the presidential villa, Abuja. That done, the president chairs the FEC meeting. In attendance are Vice President Kashim Shettima, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, ministers and senior aides to the president. After several hours, State House correspondents are briefed on some of the outcomes of the meeting, including the review of the medium-term expenditure framework by FEC and the approval of the 2024 appropriation bill.
Two of the important decisions was to use an exchange rate of 750 naira to a dollar, and also a benchmark crude oil reference price of $77.96. The Federal Executive Council approved the 2024 appropriation bill and the presentation of such to the National Assembly by His Excellency, Mr. President. The bill has an aggregate expenditure of 27,500 billion.
FEC also received the presentation from the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms as it gave approval for the installation of new security gadgets in some international airports aimed at reducing the processes involved in clearing passengers.
There was financing of $1 billion, concessional financing, 25 years, 8 years moratorium, at about the same 4.2% per annum, which was approved by the African Development Bank for this administration, and really it was a recognition of the macroeconomic measures that have been taken.
It's for the approval of the award of contract for the supply and installation of customized explosive and narcotics detection screening systems with remote and dual view for the international airports of Abuja, Lagos, Kano, Port Harcourt, and Enugu at 3,233,600,000, inclusive of 7% VAT.
FEC also received a draft National Human Rights Periodic Review report presented by the Attorney General of the Federation. The report is expected to be presented to the United Nations come February 2024. From the presidential villa, Emperor Simon, Channels Television News.
Well, yes, in case you didn't hear that. But yes, indeed, that much was said as well. So maybe we'll bring that to you much later, where he really spoke really hard about their impressions of Nigeria. He went on and also said, look, that at that time, what the impression that they were given is that you bring Ethiopian Air here, they slash the price, you drive your competitors off, and then much later, strategy likely was then going to be they hike the prices. And they thought, look, the best way to engender competitive prices, whatever can bring competition down is, I beg your pardon, what he thinks will bring the prices of airfares down is healthy competition and not create a monopoly for Ethiopian Air, which is what was going to happen. And then he said that the same agreement indicated that Ethiopia was going to come in from top to bottom management was going to be all Ethiopians, all foreigners. And he said, no, that could not happen because we have professionals here. And as such, we should be able to make sure that we also have them on board. So they frowned at it. He really frowned at that. But said, look, he's collated his report, submitted to the president. They will then wait and see what the president or FEC will decide moving forward. But importantly, he couldn't turn his eyes or ears away from the complaints that professionals, Nigerians had about Ethiopia Air. Well, we know that there are supposed to be questions asked of the former minister, but I think we'll keep tabs on that now and see whether or not the anti-graft agency will keep doing their job while the presidency also do their job. But at the end of the day, we all need answers, bottom line.
So essentially, it would seem that he's corroborating the complaints that Nigeria investors had about Nigeria Air and the business model which the investors who were trying to put their money in Nigeria Air were coming with. We do know that Ethiopia Air seems to have done some work in trying to also run airlines for some other countries. I think Togo is one of them. There is a whole hub I was quite surprised to see it. There's a hub in Togo, which looks very professionally run. But at the same time, the question is, at what expense are these investments going to come into Nigeria? It's obviously at a cost we cannot afford, because obviously what we need for our own people are jobs. Of course, we want an airline to serve Nigerians, but we would really want it to be an airline powered by Nigerians. And I think it is possible, because one of the most professionally run airline currently serving Nigerians within the system belongs to Akwa Ibom State. Ibom Air is running pretty well, and so far so good. I mean, we do not know what the business model is as to whether or not they're breaking even just yet. We understand that. I mean, and this is at the risk of giving them free publicity. But when you have enjoyed services, even though you've paid for it, and you're quite impressed about how they've kept their professionalism, I think it's worth saying it. Only recently we understand that they went to Canada to, take delivery of 10 new planes which you're bringing into the country. So it'll be very good to see if investors are really very serious about, serving Nigerians, because one of the things that investors who are looking to come in with Ethiopian Air have been saying is that Nigerians are truly underserved when it comes to airlines, and that, so much more can be done in that particular regard. So it'll be interesting to see if they're willing to come in with their money, the equipment. Of course, we want our own people hired as well. It can always be a mix, but to say that from top to bottom will be all foreigners, certainly not possible. This is a country that used to, have its own, well, Nigeria is supposed to be our own airline, right? I was going to say it used to be a country that had its own airline. And only recently on Twitter, there's been plenty of conversation around how the old Nigerian Air used to operate. And people were saying, there was a time where all that your ticket guaranteed you was, will I say, entrance to the tarmac where the planes were parked. At the end of the day, you could be on that flight, you might not be on the flight, depends on how lucky you are. Well, thankfully, I never got to see an era like that. I never got to experience that era. So, and thankfully too, we have moved away. We have since come a long way from that era. We're not about to go there. So while it is that we have had a very bitter experience with Nigeria Air in the past, there are certain reasons why people are very particular about much as we need our own airline. I mean, when I went to this recent trip I made, it was quite embarrassing as a Nigerian, and I think I understood the complaints, why it was extremely important that Nigeria has its own airline. I mean, we are a country of how many people? 200 million people, a significant, well, maybe not so significant, but at least a portion of our people, you know, travel internationally. We have a huge number of people in the diaspora and people who are still traveling every now and again for business, for pleasure, every now and again. And there is no reason why within the African continent we cannot be a significant or a major player. So it is a good thing that this investigation has done. Hopefully it will be something that will eventually give concrete feeling to this airline. It will not remain in the air. It will not be visible, having the properties of air. Hopefully, after this investigation, maybe the agreements can then be tweaked in a way that will be favorable to both Nigeria and whoever the would-be investors would be. Okola?
Well, Marco, it appears as if it's going to remain in the air for quite some time. How long that will be is what I don't know. And I say that for good reason, because of the length of time it has taken for us to even get to this stage of inquiry, this stage of questioning, this stage of eyebrow raising by the minister. You know, I recall that we had been given heads up, you know, about details of this agreement between Nigeria and Ethiopia Airways, you know, that wasn't so satisfactory and that led to the unwholesome discovery about, you know, Nigeria Air, and for which the Senate and the House of Representatives under the immediate past, that's the 8th Assembly now, you know, said quite a lot, calling that agreement and the takeoff no less of words like a scam. So if it has taken that length of time between that time and now, you know, for the minister, you know, to speak up about the reason for the delay, how long more are we going to have to wait before, you know, details are ironed out, we get to reach a proper agreement, a more beneficial agreement, a more symbiotic relationship between Nigeria and Ethiopia Airways? It doesn't appear as if, you know, I'm not optimistic that it's going to, you know, come in a short while. But all the same, the questions that the minister, you know, is asking, you know, they're valid questions. We need, you know, staffing agreements that will be more beneficial to Nigeria. Look at the aviation sector, you know, especially since COVID, the sector has, you know, suffered really, you know, in terms of employment, in terms of, you know, the number of Nigerians that are out of jobs in that sector. And that apart, you know, there's also the other issues that the minister really has to address, you know, near air mishaps that we've had in the last few weeks. You know, so these are the other issues that the minister must address as well, apart from the not so tight agreement between Nigeria and Ethiopia Airways. But those questions are valid. We must keep our hopes up. But then again, I'm not optimistic that it will take off in the near future. Chamberlain.
You maybe never know. You just never know. But so it's up to them to surprise us all, isn't it? Let's go ahead and take you through some of the dailies here this morning. Let's start with New Telegraph, and it speaks to what we just highlighted a moment ago. Why Buhari's Nigeria Air won't work as conceived by FG. So this is their big lead here this morning. That was at the Federal Executive Council meeting. But look at the first of the rider here this morning. That's from New Telegraph. FEC raises 2024 budget proposed. And so you get to also see that FEC raises 2024 budget proposal by 1.5 trillion naira, pegs dollar at 750 naira, crude at $77 per barrel, OK's $1 billion AFDB budget support loan. Tinubu presents 26 trillion naira 2024 budget to National Assembly tomorrow. So the writers associated with that lead story about the Nigeria Air. And then the Aviation Ministry stranded Abuja passengers, protests, flight cancellations. FG threatens to revoke airlines licenses. I think this is one ministry that will be in the focus a lot when they come up with their KPIs. The ministries, you understand, they also have this MOU, so they're supposed to perform. And I'm looking to see if there will be components where the people will rate their performances. So this right here, the ministry, Keyamo's ministry. Remember, he also did say, look, DGs of all these agencies under his ministry, look, ship up or ship out. I will not let your inefficiencies sack me or cause me to lose my job. So you will lose yours first. If you think you have to frustrate my plan, you have another thing coming.
Look,
so,
Timberling, a lot of work really needs to be done at our airports. They've started. I mean, we've seen some, but I think it has been largely in the area of trying to collect taxes from the people. I mean, if you go...
That's where they started.
That's where they started from. I mean, we're going to the Abuja Airport and realizing all of them that, oh, I have to pay for parking. I was like, but at least it does look like they're giving parking and secure parking some very good thought, which is also bringing some order of some sort
some
to
of
the
those
airport.
monies are going into private pockets.
Yeah, so they have to take a look at what is happening with Remita and making sure that the people who are supposed to be collecting those funds are not shortchanging the system.
Yeah.
And people really need to insist on paying into government coffers. You know, pay your money and collect your receipt. But only recently, Chamberlain, when I had, cause to travel, I was wondering, it was the day that the NLC was protested at the airport. The entire airport was hot. There was not one air conditioner working in the airport. And I have video evidence. So this is not something that, someone will come here and dispute. Not one air conditioner in the area where people were supposed to be, checking in. It was really hot. And right now we're entering, never mind the weird situation we had with the weather over the weekend. Maybe the rains just came to pity us a bit. You do know that when it gets, at least now you've experienced it, when it gets hot in Abuja, it does get hot. So if there's any time when air conditioners should be working, where passengers should feel, after they had gone through that punishment, which we all had to suffer as a result of, I think it's a cause we can all support, which the NLC, had put all passengers through. We just thought, oh, when we get to the terminal, at least we should be able to cool off a bit. Sorry, there was nothing to cool anybody off.
It reminded me of when my air conditioner was laughing at me.
Yesterday it was Mr. Fish, Titus Fish. Titus Fish that was grinning at him on the plate.
It can really be hot.
It was really, really hot and it was unacceptable. So I do hope that there will be people who will take up responsibility for even services that we can see. Before we get to, airline safety is very important. We cannot joke with that. But the truth of the matter is there are certain things that will immediately let you know that we are serious about getting work done. How difficult can it be to fix air conditioners in an airport? How? Okay, well, I guess it's my turn now to look at the papers. It's not a rhetorical question. That question is meant to be answered by somebody. How difficult is it for us to fix air conditioners in our airports and get them to work as they should work? It's a big question. Daily Trust is the paper I'm looking at for you. It depends on how or what angle you decide to look at and what the CJN said yesterday. But this is the angle that Daily Trust newspapers is picking up for you. Will never be overwhelmed by mob, says CJN.
Maybe why he's saying that, pardon me, is Mr. Bode George is quoted in New Telegraph to have said, appeal court rulings may lead to anarchy.
Well, he says you should always be on the side of the law. He was talking to the judges yesterday, and this was also at the conferment of Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Is it a title? Or on the new silks, 58 of them who were so recognized yesterday. So Abuja was quite busy yesterday. A lot of people coming from different parts of the country for the ceremony. But, you know, he had quite a lot to say. And there are more riders to this story. Judges must avoid embarrassing judiciary. That's according to Yadudu. And courts deciding election winners bad for polity. That's according to PDP elders. Page 11 is where you get to read that story. But the lead one there, will never be overwhelmed by mob, says CJN. You also look at a breakdown which Daily Trust is doing for you this morning. FAC, amounts shared by states, local government in 2 years. Just in case you're wondering what FAC is, for those of you tuning in for the very first time, which is a possibility, people who don't listen to the news. And I watched Mr. Bismarck Rawane talking to the cohorts of Channels Television's Funded Forward program. And one of the things he was telling the entrepreneurs is that they must always listen to the news, and which is a habit that is fast dying amongst a lot of young people. So we might take this out, just you and I, maybe one day just play it out and say, you know what, what's the meaning of FAC? There are many acronyms I don't know, but there are some that, I mean, off the top of my head, Federal Account Allocation Committee. So just in case you're wondering what it is, that's what it is. Federal Account Allocation Committee, FAC, is the common pot where all the monies are supposed to come into, and the federal government and states get to share from it. And for those who are wondering, what am I doing this morning?
No, then go find out the rest by yourself. Okay.
This is not for your benefits. This is for the benefits of those who are far younger than me and who rarely watch the news. And maybe for the very first time you're tuning in this morning. So FAC, amounts shared by states, local government in 2 years. They have a whole breakdown for you, and they said the total amount is 8.8 trillion naira. It'll be interesting to know. I mean, they also show you the states that got the most. They include Delta, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, and states that got the least. Zamfara, Cross River, and Osun are the states that got the least. Now, you might want to know why Delta, Rivers, and Akwa Ibom get the most. That's because they're also entitled to something called 13% derivation as a result of the fact that we get crude oil from their soil. So, wondering what 8.8 trillion naira can do? They also have a breakdown for you. They say it can build 4,000 kilometers of road, 16,000 teaching hospitals, and 160,000 mass transit buses. I'm wondering whether they mean all of it from 8.8 or they mean one at a time. I don't know. You might want to pick up a copy of the Daily Trust and take a look at it. But right underneath that breakdown, states, local governments cry for development despite sharing 8.8 trillion naira in 2 years. So there's a whole story around it. Yes, I already told you about that. Delta Rivers, Akwa Ibom gets lion's share. CSOs play leaders' failure, seek accountability, which is what we should all demand. What have you done with these monies? Why are we yet to feel the impact on our country? Fund includes salaries, overhead, others. So don't get carried away by the infrastructure they've listed there. Amount enough to build 16,000 hospitals, 4,000 kilometers of roads. Well, they have a number of other stories right there for you, but we'll leave it there for Daily Trust newspapers. Bukola?
Well, and what I have up next for you this morning is the Nigerian Observer, and it also trails on what affects you and I besides FAC. And this is it. FG initiates measures to tackle rising cooking gas prices. How much are you getting the 12.5 cylinder, 12.5 kg, I believe that's what it's called. The last I checked, it was about 15,000 naira per cylinder. And each time you have to buy again, it goes up. But we hope that, these measures would pull through somehow and reduce the price of cooking gas. There are quite a number of other stories for you on the front page. There's this one at the top. Edo government concerned over rising cases of drug abuse, cultism, cybercrime. So besides politics in Edo State, there are other socioeconomic issues bedeviling the leadership. And also on the front page of the Nigerian Observer this morning, at the, right beside the nameplates, there's this one, Tinubu to present 26.1 trillion naira 2024 budget to National Assembly on Wednesday. It's a page 2 read, and it appears as far as the budget is concerned, things are looking up. So before the beginning of the next budget cycle, perhaps the 2024 budget would have been passed and would have become an appropriation act. And lastly, well, that's pretty much it from the front page of the Nigerian Observer this morning. And that sums it up on our newspaper review segment this morning. There's more to unpack for you as soon as we return from this break. Stay with us.
The branded outfits and excitement of members of this audience hints at the purpose of the assembly in this hall in Benin City, the Edo State capital.
Promote sustainable practice and enhance food security for our state.
The Deputy Governor of Edo State, Mr. Philip Shuaib, takes a straight walk to the podium, and in no time, every uncertainty is cleared as he delivers his speech.
I fought the good fight for you, my people. Along the way, suffered humiliation, enjoyed many moments of victory, but I am thankful in all things. I have been bruised, but not crushed. Persecuted, but not abandoned. Badly hurt, but not destroyed. I resonate with the tireless, irresponsible spirit of the Edo people. By the grace of God, nothing and no one can stop us. After all, I'm the original Edo son. Wow, 100% homeboy. This is why today I stand before you with great conviction and resolve, as I declare my intention to run for the office of the governor of Edo State.
The response is all cheers and best wishes. Further unveiling is on the day's schedule of activities. For this, the Deputy Governor and his team moved to another location on Airport Road, also in the state capital. Mr. Shuaib is greeted with the slogan he's adopted as he proceeds to open his campaign office. A tour of the facility quickly gives way to a brief meeting with leaders and members of the People's Democratic Party from local government areas across the state.
After all the consultation we have made, we needed to now make the answer to our consultation known to Edo people. And the answer is clear. They have asked me to go and run.
The party leaders maintain they find his humility and loyalty particularly impressive. They also allude to his right to contest the governorship election.
What I saw in him is humility. What I saw in him is loyalty. What I saw in him is composition. He's abreast of the problems of our states in the manner that he said it in his declaration.
With the Deputy Governor having officially taken this major step, the days to come would reveal whether it's a movement other stakeholders are ready to take with him.
All right, welcome back. Yes, as you've seen there, Mr. Philip Shuaib joins us. He is the Deputy Governor of Edo State. Good morning, Your Excellency. Thank you for joining us on the program today.
Good morning, Chamberlain. Thank you for having me.
All right, so having declared your intention yesterday, what kind of reactions are you getting now?
Yeah, a lot of people are calling. Many are happy. Some thought because of the issues that have been on, they thought I was going to give up the ambition. And some are happy. A lot of them are happy that I didn't give it up, and they gave their reasons. So it's all good news I am hearing. A few people are worried that the state might be turned into another tensed environment, and I'm assuring them that I am going to be very peaceful. I'm not fighting anybody. For now, we are having an intra-party contest, and we are family. If I win the primaries, I will need the other, those that will have lost out. And if I don't win, they will also need me. So for me, it's all about all of us working together in the party, because the real fight is against other political party. So I'm fine. I am peaceful, and I've asked all my supporters to be peaceful and just be focused.
But, you know, what would you say to those who think that it does appear as though you're in a hurry for this declaration, so that, who knows, when you say, first of all, do you think that they have a point when they say you seem to be in a hurry for this declaration?
INEC has released its timetable. PDP have released its own timetable on how the primaries will be conducted. So I don't say anything in a hurry there. In fact, I should have started since INEC released this timetable. But my consultation was still on, so I needed to conclude my consultation. And once I was done with my consultation, the right thing to do is to declare, because the election is in February. So we have to start. I have to go around the 18 local government to seek support of party faithful for the contest. So going around the 18 local government will not take me less than 41 days by the timetable I already have. So it's not early.
Yeah. When you say no one can stop you, does that include the governor?
When I mean no one can stop us, we are Edo people. We are people, we are from our ancestral background. We are resolute in anything we want to do. We are confident, and we fight for our rights. We are known not to people that chicken out of things. So when I said nobody can stop me, yes, no human being, because I believe in God, and God is the only one that has the power, is the omnipresent, omnipotent that can say something cannot happen. Human being cannot say things cannot happen, no. Because if God gives us power, He gives us power for certain purpose. So it's the same God that gives us power. It's the same God I have gone to, and God has asked me to go ahead. I don't do things by my strength. So since I'm sure that God is with me, no man can stop me.
But you know, how about the impression also out there that your party, because when you speak about intra-party matter, it appears as though your party is split in two. Asura Nigodalo, who knows if he's getting the support of the governor, yourself, and you know, the last time out that the party had it very challenging in the state when it was split. They couldn't win elections at the central level, national level. So now, are you concerned? Because if there are two groups there, it will definitely affect your chances.
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried about the level that some person within the party are taking it. For instance, a sitting deputy governor, a member of the ruling party in the state, will want to have his declaration, and his senior appointee in government will call the owner of the filling station of the hotel and tell them if they allow me to use that particular facility, they will revoke and demolish And for me, it doesn't add up to what our governor believes in and what all of us believe in, because we are asking private sector to come to Edo State. They shouldn't hear this kind of sound that if you have differences, their investment can be destroyed. So for me, that is my worry. But for the issue of unity in the party, I can bet you my candidacy, and if by the time I win the primaries, I can unite everybody. I have reached over with everybody. I relate with. In fact, some persons say, like Fela said, I am water. I don't have enemy. I relate with everybody. And my candidacy will not just unite PDP. It will unite the whole political setup in the state. Across party line. I have reached across party line. So within the party, my candidacy will unite the party because I have a relationship with everybody. When you hear I am original homeboy, I started from the grassroots, from the beginning, and I grew through the ranks. And in the course of going through the ranks, most of the people within PDP, outside PDP, in other parties, we have had one encounter or the other, positive encounter. So that is why I'm going to be a unity candidate. And by the time I get this ticket, all parties will unite for me. So my own party for now, I'm speaking to everybody. I started this whole thing of going around to bring all of us together before this tension started. And I know what to do to bring everybody back. Presently, we have started reconciling. We're already having legacy coalition to bring everybody together. And by the grace of God, even before the primaries, I can assure you, Chamberlain, I'm a believer, and by the grace of God, I'm a man of faith. And that is why, so far, I've maintained calm.
Now, your candidacy, much as you say it will unite the party, but some others think that it might end up dividing the party further because the legacy group say they're supporting Honorable Lehama. Now, you have Anselmo Jezua, Aswani Godalo from Central, you from Edo North, and they say, no, it's not for Edo North this time. It has to go to the Central. So your homeboy card may not work this time.
You said Honorable Obede is from Benin, Edo South. Honorable Aslem is from Edo Central, and I am from Edo North. Aswai told me he was not interested, so I'm not sure yet about him. So these are the three I'm aware for now, because I had an encounter with Aswai, and he told me they are pushing him. And I don't think I don't need somebody that has been pushed. I don't need somebody that is ready for the job. I don't need somebody that understands the job. I don't need somebody that understands the feeling of the people. So I think we should not limit ourselves to these three. I am from Edo North. Aslem is from Edo Central. Obede Yama is from Edo South. That tells you that the issue of, in quote, agenda does not exist in Edo State. What exists in Edo State is competence. Somebody that can do it. And that is what we are talking about. And I can tell you, I have a relationship with Obede Yama. I have a relationship with Aslem Ojezua. So I can bet you that we will not have any tension among the three of us.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, just how the coming days go, because you have made reference to what your experience has been so far in your speech. When you talked about how you've been persecuted, you've been crushed but not broken, you've been humiliated as a result of your ambition. I want to believe that that's where the problem started. But, the question is, at what cost? I've been wondering, I've asked myself, sometimes, is this really a cost that is worth it for you? When you think about just what you've been through, as you said, in your political journey, wasn't it really important to you to have secured the buy-in of your current principal?
Yeah, you see, my life has been a life of struggle. struggle for an egalitarian society in quote. And this democracy that we enjoy in quote today, if we have to chicken out, we won't have democracy today. I'm happy that when you talk about this democracy from 1999 to date, you must call my name among those that fought to have this democracy, from my antecedent of being the coordinator of Abacha Must Go of NANS. So if I have put my life on the line under the military to have this democracy, if I put my line under the military to insist that Obasanjo must be released from detention and we must have democracy, and we were arrested, brutalized, I still have scar on my body, and I didn't chicken out then. Is it the democracy that we now have that I will chicken out because of pressure? No. My focus is not about myself. My focus is that the destiny of Edo State is at stake, and destinies are connected. We need an Edo State and a Nigeria where we, the people of Nigeria, can decide who lead us, who can be governed according to God's gift for us. We need leaders that can help manage our collective resources to the benefit of all. So that is what I stand for. And I make myself available. It's not everybody that have the gifts of having the gift of being able to withstand pressure and humiliation for the people. So what I'm taking today is sacrifice for our people. And by the grace of God, I can tell you, Malpe, I have seen worse things and I have always overcome. Because the fight is not me. The fight is about us. And when it's a collective fight for a betterment of our state, I can tell you, I see light after the tunnel. But in terms of pressure, I'm somebody that derives carbohydrates from being oppressed.
You just said derived carbohydrates. That's very interesting. I'm just, I'm wondering now, when you talk about the plans for the people of Edo State, let's even talk about that. I mean, you want to be governor. The question for me is, what do you want to do for the people of Edo State? Why is it really important to you to lead the people of Edo State?
Yeah, because, Mark, for me to go to J2 right now, it will take 4 hours minimum for me to get to J2. And my people are saying that we need to get to Benin the way we used to get to Benin. 1 hour, 10 minutes from J2 to Ring Road. So I need to fix those roads. I need to grow our economy. We are doing well in terms of where we are going now. We have an increase in our growth in the past 7 years, but the level of growth that we reflect on the people in the rural area is what I want to take. That is the next level I'm taking it to. We have significantly about 1.3% growth economic-wise, but we need to take it to compete with our GDP that is about our economic growth is about 3.5 nationwide. So my take is how to make these statistics reflect on the faces of our people. I want to see my street, the level of unemployment dropping. I want to see we have done well in terms of out-of-school students. Ours is low. I want to also increase that part. So for me, it's about collectivity and allow the people to enjoy the dividends of democracy, which includes employment for the young ones, taking advantage of their own collective resources and heritage within our scope. So my take is just to get Edo in proper footing and make sure that the growth that we are having does not come down. I've been in the system and I've seen what Osumbo did. I've seen what Oshomole did. I've seen what we have done in this administration. And I can tell you there are certain sectors that we need to upgrade. There are certain ones that we need to sustain. And that is why I'm coming in. And I can also tell you that a lot of people feel that we need to bring the government down to their level, practical government to their level, especially in the rural communities. I am from J2, and I know what we suffer in those areas. we have done well in terms of in Edo Best. There are still more to be done. We need to deal with our secondary schools. We need to make sure that our out-of-school children does not drop. So that is why I'm going for this race. There are a lot of old things. I'm part of this government. I know where our growth is coming from, and I know other areas where we need to step up. For sport, for instance, I have a whole lot of ideas, and I know that from sport alone, I can crash the whole issue of unemployment from the youth. From agriculture, I can crash it also. So my intention and my attention from what I've seen, because when I say I'm 100% own boy, it is from my reach, from my conversation, from my interaction, that those I derive those acronym for us to do what they want to do. So returning back governance to the people, that is exactly what I want to do. And I'm interested. I'm happy that my party, that is the slogan of my party and the motto for us to return power to the people. So I want to return government back to the people at the grassroots.
Well, when you say you want to return government back to the people, some people will say it gives a suggestion that government is not with the people right now. I don't know if that's the impression you're trying to convey. But let me take you up on the issue of roads. I think you made reference to the fact that it takes about 4 hours to go from your hometown to Benin City, where you currently are, where you currently reside. Let me put it that way. And I'm wondering, you know, only recently I had the privilege of having a conversation with the governor, and interestingly, you were at that, could I say, conference now, Alagodare was titled, and seeing everybody there, seeing yourself, former governors there, I was very certain that this reconciliation had all been concluded more or less, but it doesn't appear that way. You can speak to us much later on that. But let me tell you about the issue of roads, because it would seem that most of the roads which people complain about are roads which are being marked federal government roads, roads belonging to the federal government. Considering just how frosty things have been before now between, and I don't know whether, you know, those things have now thawed, but looking at the political history between, recent political history that is, between your party, especially in Edo State, and that of the center, do you think that, you know, things might be able to thaw out a bit in such a way as to bring the development, the desired development in the area of roads?
Government is one, whether at the federal, at the state, at the local government. As far as I'm concerned, government is one. And if I am governor of Edo State by the grace of God, I will collaborate with federal government and local government to be able to develop the state. As far as I'm concerned, there's no federal road, there's no state road. We have roads in Edo State, and it's my duty to make sure that those roads are motorable. Because if I want to drive economic growth, one of the major things that we propel and the catalyst to drive it is to have facilities. And when I consistently repeat this and I tell my people, I say government have no business in business, but government have business in creating an enabling environment. And one of the major enabling that was created to boost our economy and to increase growth is accessibility, and road is one of them. And that is why if I become the governor of Edo State, I'll create rail line. I'll create rail line, and I'm going to make sure that I'll collaborate with federal government. It will mean for me to go and dobale to the president every morning to have those roads done. I will do it. There's no shame in it. I'm going to be a servant governor. If it means going to Senator Mai's office as governor, he's a former governor and thank God is senior to me, I can dobale for him to bring him to Edo State to come and do those roads. And the resources I will have used to do palliative there will be converted to other things. So when I mean I am going to be servant governor and that certain things that we are doing, I'm going to improve on them. This is what I'm talking about.
Are you saying then, pardon me to interrupt you, sir, are you saying then that the governor is currently giving excuses?
I See, Mark, I don't want to talk because I don't want to talk about the governor because they are I don't want to create more tension. I'm just focused on what I, Philip, will want to do for the in Edo. And I've said I'm bringing experience on board. And this experience is derived from being in government under Osumbo, being in government under Oshomole, being in government now as deputy governor. So I've seen how things have worked, and I've seen areas where I need to improve. And these are the areas I'm talking about. I don't want to compare. The governor has done his best. Governor has done his best. Governor has been able, for Edo Best, for instance, governor has done very well, excellently well. In terms of the revenue generation, governor has done excellently well. In terms of trying to woo investors down, governor has done extremely well. In terms of capacity building, he has done extremely well. But for instance, if I become the governor of Edo State, this capacity building we've done is with civil servant. I will let the civil servant now act. Because presently, we are building a civil service. We are training and retraining them. They are not able to work yet because consultants are still the one doing the work. When I become the governor of Edo State, this capacity that the governor has built in the civil service, I will withdraw those consultants and I will now make the civil servant now do their work as civil servant from the capacity the governor presently has built. So when I say I know what I'm going to do and I'm bringing experience on board, it's cumulative learning from Osumbo as governor, Oshomole as governor, and Obaseki as governor.
So, by the time you're going for the primaries, they'll say you've been in government now for 8 years. Now, Edo North and South have produced governors from 1999. So, what message would you be telling delegates from Edo Central to support your candidacy?
Yeah. One of the messages is that Edo North, under a party, People's Democratic Party, have never been given a ticket to contest for the governor of Edo State. Since the creation of PDP, Edo North have never been given a ticket. Edo South has gotten the ticket twice. Edo Central have gotten the ticket once. But Edo North have never gotten the ticket. So it's our turn in terms of fairness and equity. It's the turn of, in fact, I'll say Omilokon, our Lokon in Edo North for PDP to give us the ticket. That is the truth.
Well, interesting. We hope that Emilokon does not mean that you're going to be on another ballot rather than the PDP, because your use of that slogan, Your Excellency, is quite suggestive. So what happens if you don't secure the ticket of the PDP?
I can assure you that I will secure the ticket, and my name and the party will be on the ballot. That I can tell you confidently. Then nothing happened. Nothing will happen because my name will be there. My name will be sent to the INEC, and I will be the candidate for the party. I can assure you of that. Because before, I don't do things without checking. I have gone around, I've consulted, and I've been assured. And certain category of people that I've reached are not people that will deceive me. And I've prayed and fasted. I've done novena, and I've seen all the signs. All my elections, before I go, I have my special section with God. When when crisis between Oshomole and Obaseki started, I went to God and I asked for direction. And God gave me direction that, look, you must be principled and you must follow Obaseki. We have said no God to godfatherism in Edo State. I am blessed that there won't be godfatherism in Edo State again. So you must support your boss. Whether he wins or not, you must support your boss. But I can assure you, my son, that he will win. And I followed God's direction. And you saw, with all the turbulence, we won. I can assure you again that it's my cross that I'm carrying. It's always a tough thing each time I contest election. But I always get over it. So my name, I can assure you, my name will be there. And that is why I've refused to fight because I don't need to fight. I am loyal to the governor. It's not disputed. But my right to contest is mine. Loyalty is given and is fully given. Even with the humiliation and everything, I am still loyal. But when it comes to contest, it's my constitutional right. So we need to sort of separate the two. And I think the mistake some of the people from the governor team are making, they are not able to separate loyalty to the governor and ambition. That is just the problem. Amaokwe, you were in Edo in that program, and you were in Edo in previous program. See the sitting arrangement, for instance. Look at the sitting arrangement. You say everything was fine. Look at the sitting arrangement. So for me to go and greet my governor, I have to think twice. I have to wait for my governor to come to greet me because I'm afraid I will block. Throughout that program, I was not recognized, but throughout the program, my name was not even in the protocol list. I have to just bear this. That's the cross that I have to carry, and I'm ready to carry them for the benefit of Edo people. So I have no problem, but I beg the governor. The governor should know he's the leader. He must be able to organize all of us. He must not love one more than the other. If he must do so, he must not humiliate the other one.
Your Excellency, this is Bukola from Lagos. I'm going to get back to events that transpired in 2019, but let me quickly follow up on what you have just said and in relation to Maokwe's poser about how she thought that the reconciliation had happened, you know, particularly because you made a public apology. And now that you have gone ahead to make a declaration, which some would say seems as if it's, you know, a hurried one because of how far-flung the elections still are. Why are you seemingly throwing caution to the wind? And you could correct me if I'm wrong here, which is you're currently still the sitting deputy governor of Edo State, and things are not particularly okay between you and your principal, and yet you're going ahead. What's giving you this courage to go ahead? Is it because a certain faction of the PDP is determined not to allow the governor produce the flag bearer of the party? Are you emboldened by a faction of the party that is opposed to the governor?
No faction of the party is opposed to the governor. I'm emboldened by the commitment of me to serve and the encouragement I get from our people. Like I told you, I'm a believer. I don't do things because I will directly benefit. I do things because I look at everybody that in that chain. I am a team player. And when I see that what the generality of our people are saying is correct, even when I have to sacrifice some things to make it work, I have to do that. The governor knows me with that. I can tell you, I've been praying that this whole relationship things come back to normal, because the governor is one person that is very proud of me in terms of what I have done for this government and in terms of my style of doing things. The governor knows that I'm not a corrupt person. In this government, if you ask the governor, he knows all of us. He knows that Philip Shuaib, you give him an assignment, he will go extra mile to make it work. And he knows that he will not just do it, he will be transparent. If there are some resources that are left, he will return them. That is how meticulous I am. And there's no assignment I've been given that I've not done it creditably well. And I have commendation from the governor on all that I've done. If a governor, my own governor, my senior brother and boss, can do a commendation letter to me and ask it, the first line is that he wants to put it on record. So that means he wants that document to go on record. And he ended up to say, I am the type of deputy governor any governor will wish to have. So what has changed? What has changed simply is that I want to be the governor of Edo State. Possibly, maybe he wants somebody else. A situation like that, what you do is not intimidation. It's not harassment. you call a family together. You will call all of us together and give us reasons why you feel certain things will do. Tell us what you want, and let go. You don't intimidate. You don't harass. If I am governor tomorrow and my deputy want to contest, he has the right to contest. If I have to support somebody else, I also have the right to support somebody else. But no conversation. And the next thing is intimidation, harassment. No, I don't think it's the right thing to do. Not even somebody that has sacrificed all. If I had to narrate all the sacrifices I've made in this government, will not leave this. It will not take. It will take the entire day. So, but the truth is that I am contesting the election, and by the grace of God, I can assure you that after February 20th, you will hear that my name is on the ballot.
Certainly. And in the events leading to your falling out with the governor, there were so many accusations leveled against you, one of which is inordinate ambition and you being seen, you know, with the opposition, the All Progressives Congress, which is why I'm asking, what's your relationship with former governor of your state and former national chairman of the party, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole? And will that in any way inform events that will follow the outcome of the primaries that will be conducted in February, should you fail to secure the PDP ticket?
I don't know why I think I won't secure PDP ticket. You have repeated that severally. I can assure you I'll secure PDP ticket. I'm a party man to the core. And when you say inordinate ambition, they tried to push me out of PDP. They did everything. They even announced that I'll be declaring a particular day. And the day they announced I'll be declaring, I was actually with my family enjoying my vacation. And I saw it in the media. I know, and the people that wrote it are from Government House. I know their names. And I showed somebody that was close to me. I said, look at these people again. They have even given me a date that I'll be declaring to APC. Whereas I'm not even having any conversation with anybody. But their game was to put pressure on me and get me angry, and I will leave the party for them. But unfortunately, I am not somebody that you use pressure to take out of things. You discuss with me to get me to succumb to things. And I came from a tendency where ideas cross-multiply. We argue, we discuss, we engage. Product of those engagements, I'm somebody that can easily give in after engagement. But I'm not somebody that can give in to intimidation. No. If I have to give in to intimidation, we won't have democracy today, like I told you earlier. So relationship with Comrade Adams Oshiomhole is cordial. When I mean cordial, he's still my father. Politically, we are in different political party. And I'm happy that the governor finally has started inviting our former governor and my father to function. That is what I've been praying for. And now that he has started, I think the next step is for me to now reach him and also first apologize to him for some use of words during the election. But in terms of principle behind supporting Obaseki, even if I still have the chance today, I'll still support Obaseki because on principle, that was the right thing to do. God told me that was the right thing to do. But in terms of some language that I use, I will find time to go and apologize to Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. What I was waiting for, that is, I can be loyal to a fault. What I was waiting for was for the governor to make that move. Because I will not make that move if my governor have not made the move. Now that he has made the move to be inviting Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, now I'm emboldened to go and see him. Because one of the crises that I have was when I went to the Senate to congratulate Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, and I was seeing in a viral video. That was where my headache started. Because it is the governor's style, or the style here is that a friend of the governor, you must be friend to him. An enemy to governor, you must be enemy to him. So I understand those principles, and that's why I am being careful. Now that governor has made that move to invite Oshiomhole to programs. On the national television, all those words, some of those words that I use, that when I see them today, I should have used these words. I apologize to Comrade and Saliu Shomole. But in terms of the principle of supporting Obaseki, it was the right thing to do.
All right, so we have to go. I mean, when people hear you say that you're very sure that you'll get the ticket of the PDP in your party, there'll be no need to go to the APC or seek their tickets, even if they approach you, or in fact, it won't even arise. The need will not arise for them to approach you to get their tickets. So we do thank you for coming on, and we wish you all the best, Your Excellency.
Don't worry, when I get the ticket of PDP, both APC, Labour, all of them will support me.
Okay. All right, thank you very much indeed. So we will be back in just a moment. Stay on with us.
The conclusion of an election is the beginning of another electoral cycle. The 2023 general elections may be behind us, but we cannot forget the lessons from the general election as we gradually march towards 2027. Now is the time to identify the gaps and together chart pathways to improve the quality of elections in Nigeria. Do you have recommendations on how to improve the quality of elections in Nigeria? Join the Citizens Town Hall on electoral reform on the 20th of November 2023 from 10 a.m. at the Ladi Kwali Hall, Abuja Continental Hotel, Abuja, or watch live on Channel Television and Arise TV. To participate in person, register via www.yaga.org/Citizens Town Hall or submit your memorandum to the committee via inecsenatecommittee@gmail.com. You can also join the conversation on social media using the hashtag ElectoralReformNG. Make your voice count. The Citizens Town Hall on Electoral Reform is organized by the Joint Senate and House Committee on Electoral Matters in partnership with Yaga Africa with support from the European Union.
It's our biggest sales event of the year. Some call it Black Friday, Africans call it. When you shop every day like it's a holiday. From 1st till 30th of November 2023, genuine products are cheaper at Konga. Who's your guy? See us we dey like beans and rice. Labour Party, I will never leave your side. I will never ever. I dedicate my time forever, time to you, my people. Even if the road is rough, I know mine. 'Cause together we shall stand. Labour Party, who's your guy? See us we dey like beans and rice. 'Cause together we
Well, yes, indeed. Part of the voice you hear is that of Lanre Isao Nilu, who is the Director General, National Orientation Agency. You know, the NOA that you hear us talk about, yeah, he's the one in charge now. Good morning. Thank you for coming on today.
It's my pleasure.
Well,
thank you for having me.
I know you know there's a lot of question about what's the role of the NOA? Shouldn't NOA be doing this kind of... So it's all out there. Now that you're in the saddle, have you been able to assess the task ahead of you? So give us a picture, what you see.
Yeah, well, it's a huge task. The whole of the challenges we have in this country is centered around our attitude, whether as people in government or as citizens. Once we are able to move from where we are now, and we have the right kind of attitude challenges will be off. The issue of economy, of political, of stability, of security, all center around attitude. So, and the biggest task anybody can have is to make people to change attitude, especially when you have entrenched interest and you have such divisions that crisscross religion, ethnicity, and several other divides. And this has taken for so long that people now have built silos to dissolve and dismantle the silos and bring everybody together as one entity. It's a huge task, and that is the core mandate of NOA. Besides also educating Nigerians on the policies, projects, and programs of government. And when I say government, I'm not saying ruling party at the national level alone. We have NOA offices in all the states. We have in all the 774 local government. So whatever government that is in power in that state, it is the responsibility of the NOA office to assist the government in interfacing with the people and also get feedback from the citizens to government.
I know you visited some of those areas in the States. Do you plan to visit all of them? What is the current state of the ones you've seen?
Not necessarily all of them, but for two reasons I have to do that. One, for a lot of, quite a number of years, people believe NOA has not been up and doing. And there may be good reasons for that. You cannot just say the staff. But at the same time, now that we have a new government, a new thinking, so I need to go around to re-energize the staff and let them understand that we have new things that we need to do. And we need to assist this government and the country and the citizens to be able to have the right atmosphere for development to happen. So I needed to get the staff, re-energized. And I also need to prepare ground for what the big ideas we're trying to unveil. The whole issue of our attitude center around that for 63 years or more of our independence, we have not been able to evolve into a nationality. We don't have national values. So people, if you are a Yoruba man, your values are still the Yoruba values. If you are an Igbo man, you're still about your Igbo-ness. If you're Hausa, it's still that. If you are a Bira or Efik or whatever. So we are still clinging to these values. And it's not our fault. We have not created national values. And national values are supposed to influence our psychology and our lifestyle. So if we don't have a common identity built around our values, there's no way you can blame anybody for clinging to what he has. So from all our sub-national cultures, we're supposed to have created, aggregate all of this culture to create a national culture where every individual, no matter what your ethnic group is, you see yourself reflected in the national culture. And that's when you can have that psychological connection to the country, because patriotism, love of your country, all these are emotional issues. And it's like, okay.
What is this charter that you say you want to create? How is it going to help anything?
Okay, the way it's going to help things is every country, there must be a social contract. Whatever association you belong to, even if you are a member of a religious group or a social group, it must satisfy three things. These three needs in every association is the same thing for country. So if you go to America, if you go to Britain, if you go to France, if you go to China, they have national values. And they have these three things that have been provided for. One is to satisfy your moral need. Any association you belong, if it cannot satisfy your moral needs, you're not going to be committed. Secondly, it must satisfy your material needs. So in the case of a country, you're talking of your material needs, the amenities, the infrastructure that you need to function. And then lastly, your psychological need. The job of NOA is the psychological need of the country. People must have reasons to be committed. They must see what attracts them. It's like I said, patriotism is an emotional issue. It's like love. There must be an attraction. So you must put something that attracts people in place for them to be connected to it. And that is why I said, you are a Yoruba man, you are connected to that tribe psychologically because there are values that are attractive to you, and you protect them and you espouse them anywhere you go. It's the same thing for the country. You must put values in place. So as of today, we don't have that. So if you ask me to orientate people towards what? If you're a Christian and the pastor needs to make you a better Christian, the principles of Christianity are there. So it can orientate you towards, getting the best of that. If you're a Muslim, Islam has put in place principles for you to be a better Muslim. So an imam or a cleric can orientate you towards that. So for us in the country, we have really not put down anything. So if we continue like that, every Director General of NOA who comes to office will, based on his own perspective, orientate Nigeria towards whatever he thinks they should be. So we must define clearly a national culture, a value system. And then we can now say this is how a Nigerian is supposed to be. In China, they have a value system that is built around what they call proper coordination of things in terms of harmony. Harmony in all the things, harmony between the society and the country, harmony between religion and mankind, all sorts of things built around harmony. In France, it's about etiquette. They value the family, they value the fashion that they espouse, so they want to be seen as people who are fashionable.
So what should ours be?
Fantastic. If you look in all our subnational cultures, you see all kind of positive values. If I was telling somebody that at a forum around 2005, Jerry Rawlings, the late former president of Ghana, was in Nigeria at an occasion. And he was saying that until Nigeria moves, the rest of Africa is going nowhere. Meaning they recognize the leadership role of Africa, of Nigeria in Africa. So it does mean if you're a citizen of Nigeria, you are supposed to be an ambassador of that. So you're supposed to also be a leader in Africa. And leadership is ingrained in us. So it gave a story, which, if you permit me, I will give. It said it's a joke among them in Ghana that a Ghanaian was coming from London, and the Nigerian also was coming from London, and then they met at the counter. And the Ghanaian was right ahead of the Nigerian, and then he presented his passport, and he said, your passport expired a month ago. Your visa expired a month ago. And I'm sorry, I've been in the hospital and this and that. Okay, stay on this side. Then the Nigerian man confidently went there and presented his passport. And they flipped, and they found out that his visa had expired 6 months before. And they said, your visa expired 6 months before. He said, hey, so what? I'm going back to my country to say my visa expired. How's that your business? And they were still pushing it. He said, hey, come. Once you will deport me, I have bought my ticket already. So why can't you just let me get into the plane and go back to my country? The Ghanaian man saw the confidence in the Nigerian. And they still pushed it. Then they said, hey, hold on. The last time your forefathers were in Africa to colonize us, did they come with visa? Give me my passport. Then the Ghanaian man jumped up and said, hey, give us our passport. What has the Nigerian man demonstrated? Leadership. Is there a reason why we go anywhere in the world and then we excel? It is in us. So we have to bring this consciously and say this is our national values. Leadership, resilience, audacity. These are our national value. Duty of care, service. This is who we are. And that's why we say we are not creating any new Nigeria. We want to go back to the real Nigeria. Nigeria where when people are passed by the road, they see 2 bags of yam put there by a seller who has indicated the price and is returned to the farm, and somebody would drop the exact amount and take the exact number of tubers without cheating. That is the Nigeria, that's who we are. And this you can find in every tribe. This we have lost. The Nigeria where we care for ourselves, we don't have it anymore. What we do now is somebody is standing on the 3rd mainland bridge, is about to jump into the lagoon, and then we pick our cameras. This is not who we are. No ethnic group in Nigeria is originally like that.
But, yeah.
I mean, I've been listening, and I know that usually the National Orientation Agency works very closely with the Ministry of Information. And over the years, we've seen the Ministry of Information try to come up with different slogans.
Change begins with you.
Yes, under the last administration of President Buhari, we saw change begins with me. But before we got change begins with me, which was heavily resisted, we also had the Good People, Great Nation under the late Dora Akunyili, who also tried to, instigate that that drive amongst Nigerians to identify things that they really love about themselves. And I think that resonated. The question for a number of people is, why have we not been able to sustain some of these, I don't want to say slogans, but some of the values that these slogans espouse? When you think of good people, great nation, that could have been something that we all could rally around, but we rarely see it. Change begins with me. It was resisted. I think that there was conversation going back and forth, but I think that eventually there was some consensus that indeed, if the people desired change, they also needed to examine their own ways as well. So for you, why do you think that this is going to be any different, considering the fact that over the years, it's not for lack of trying to bring up something. It's the fact that we have not been able to sustain it.
Yeah, it's beyond just sustaining it. What are you bringing up? Sloganeering. Sloganeering alone cannot lead to what we are talking about. You see, you bring your slogan after you have put something in place, which you now want to, campaign about. Those slogans, as beautiful as they are, and they actually define us. Good people, good nation. We are good people. That's what I've just said. But what are these components? What are the attributes of this goodness? We need to put it just the same way we have our national anthem, everybody understand what it is. We must also have our values, that anybody, when they ask you what are the values that Nigeria represent, you must be able to spell them out. And you would recall, some decades back, you can't go through the school without learning civic education. That has all these things as part of, the curriculum. This was taken off, and then when it was brought back, it's no longer compulsory. So why would the study of nationalism, what would make you a better Nigerian not be compulsory in school? Why is it not part of our curriculum? So that by the time you're emerging from the university, you are an embodiment of the values. So if you find yourself as governor, as minister, or even as a mechanic, these values are original to you. So, and because when you leave the university, you're given a certificate that says you have been found worthy in learning and character. But we do know that currently there is no character learning in schools. And that is the job of nationalism study, which has to be a compulsory subject in school. And because if you go to America today, even if you're an international student, 60% of the curriculum is built around Americanness, the exceptionalism of an American. So you grow up to see yourself as an exceptional human being. And so wherever you go, you have to exhibit this. And so they have a pattern, they have a lifestyle. And like I said, national values, cultures, influence psychology and lifestyle. So we must have a national psychology and a national lifestyle.
Aren't these things already espoused in our pledge? I mean, when we say, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, aren't those the values that, Nigeria itself demands of its citizens, and the pledge that citizens normally take? I mean, students used to recite this. Yeah. I recited it throughout my, how many years in primary and secondary school.
Yes.
I don't know what the situation is now. But aren't these the values? So some people say, oh, if you say that they stopped it, the people for whom they stopped it are not the people in power right now. They're not the ones whom people are looking to. The people whom people are looking to said these same things in school. Why are they not espousing these values? Have they forgotten them all of a sudden?
Yeah, but see, the national pledge, which is derived from the values, is coming from the citizen. What is the promise the country is making in return? I just mentioned the American dream. The American dream has this, it has two components. The promise the country has made and the citizens' codes of conduct. So I pledge to Nigeria is my own pledge. What is the country promising me? So that's why it's a social contract. It takes two to tango. And that's the problem people said were complaining about the change begins with me. You know, everything must come from the citizen. You know, so that's not what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is seeing in putting this in place. And that's why you have Ministry of Information and National Orientation now standing separate, because the orientation is very key. But you cannot orientate anybody without putting an objective for a goal in place. So the goal is that lifestyle, the national value system that must be in place, and everybody must understand it. And it must permeate our system right down to formal, informal, and vocational educational systems.
You know, let people not think that they are trying to, or you're trying to orientate them to violate their visa requirements by overstaying by 6 months.
I understand that.
So if you overstay by 6 months, that's wrong. So,
even by 1 day.
So stick to the proper time. So don't think that because of this example, you go and think that, I have to show. No, that's not the message he's trying to send across. So let's go to Buki. I think she has questions for you as well.
Okay.
Interesting. Thank you, Chamberlain. Mr. Nilu, as a follow-up to Malquest's question, aren't the national values that you brilliantly talk about us rethinking, aren't they espoused in the Constitution, Chapter 2 to be precise? But this time around they are captured as the national ethics, and they shall be, according to the Constitution, discipline, integrity, dignity of labor, social justice, religious tolerance, self-reliance, and patriotism. When you talk about, different ideas like audacity, which is great, and it speaks to the nature of Nigerians wherever you find them, anywhere in the world. But even if you developed a different charter, isn't it going to be, a change in nomenclature, so to speak, if the strategy that you come up with does not get Nigerians to see themselves the way that has been designed in the new charter? And I guess that's another way of saying, what's going to be different about your strategy to get Nigerians to see themselves differently in line with a new set of values?
A voice. I'm not hearing it. Okay. Well, let me say first off that we are not creating new values. That's why we said we are not bringing new Nigeria. It is the real Nigeria. It's already there. But what you read out in the Constitution, which I was waiting for, if not this job that you do, you may never have come across there are those things in the Constitution. Even if you're a professional litigant and you go to court every day, the lawyers will only cite what is relevant to your case. So Nigerians are not even aware there's anything like that in the Constitution. And these are the same values we are bringing out from the Constitution to the streets. We are bringing it out from the Constitution to the street to ensure that every Nigerian now understands this and look towards, evolving into this. As a Yoruba man will see himself, as an Igbo man will see himself, trying to be a proper Igbo man or Hausa man or Fulani man or Efik man or a Bibio man. You should also try to see yourself as a proper Nigerian man. But this proper Nigerian man must be defined, and people must understand it. So you can now begin to orientate people towards becoming what you have identified. So the president will be unveiling this social contract with Nigerians. And it's not for government, it's for the country.
Well, that's the point.
2075, these values will remain.
That's the point. No matter
which government or party brings you to government.
Pardon me if I may come in there. That's the point. What's going to be different about this strategy of this current administration that would sell this this new charter to Nigerians, that will make them see themselves that way and act in line with it? What's going to be different?
Okay, yeah, exactly. What we are proposing that will be different are basically two. One, the political will that this government has to push through policies, programs, and projects, no matter how difficult they may appear. This government has demonstrated political will, the courage, the bravery you need to get things done. So that is in place, which in the past was in short supply. Secondly, is the understanding of the fact that it is not just about the citizens. The government itself is willing to ensure that a social contract is between at least two parties. So the country itself and the citizens must play their role. And like I said, the National Lifestyle Charter, it has two components. The component, that is the Nigerian Promise, and the other component, which is the citizens' codes, the codes of conduct. So you look towards the promise. If you take people through the school system and they imbibe this, they learn it, and they emerge into the society, that same person may end up being the president of this country. So if he has those values already, in himself, it's going to exhibit them. Whether as governor, as minister, like I said, as even a carpenter, these are the values that we must know who we are as Nigerians. As of today, we are only looking at Nigeria from our various perspectives. So that must be understood, we must put it in place, and we must take it through our learning system. Like I said, when you graduate from the university, your certificate says you have been found worthy in learning and character. But as of today, you only go through learning. The character aspect has to be defined, and we must ensure that it gets into our educational system, part of our curriculum. It has been there before, and we used to call civic education. And we have to create models, Nigerian models, that are going to exhibit this. In the past, we used to have Boy Scouts, Girls Guide, Girls Brigades, or Boys Brigades in schools. These were model citizens. They were people who were trained, they have leadership training right from when they were, teenagers. And as they grow up, this continues to reflect in the way they run their lives. So as of today, we don't have those in schools again. So the youth have nothing that is engaging them while going through their formative years. And what you have is youth who just develop on their own and then imbibe all kind of social vices. Then you have cultism, you have prostitution, you have all kind of things happening in schools. So we must engage our youth, and engaging them, we must define the values that we want to push through, and the values that we all agree to in Nigeria that are aggregate of all our subnational cultures. And then we build a national
it is
culture
hoped
from
that Catch Them Young model will be sustained. But there are two more things, Mr. Onilu. One was also in short supply in the past, and I'm hoping that will change this time under your administration, one of which is funding for the orientation agency. Will it be different from what obtained in the past, such that you can actualize these dreams for the agency? That's one. And another thing that you identified, which is the trust quotient, between the government and the people, that obtains even now. How are you going to get the people to, buy in to this new vision for national value?
Yeah, the first question about funding for the agency, yes, no funding, but even if you are the president, you're not going to put money where you don't see any value. So the first thing that we need to do as the Ministry of Information and National Orientation and National Orientation Agency, we are all together working on this, is to put value on the table, is to put down the big idea. And then when money follows idea. So if you put value on the table, definitely funding will come for it. And that is one aspect of that question. The second question is, you cannot ignore the traditional institutions when you are talking of creating values and cultures. So we are going to give traditional, that's why I have visited some palaces to see some of the chiefs. They are going to play a huge role in this. And the religious leaders, they're going to be deeply involved in this. And the leaders of market, of the artisanal leaders, all of them are going to be involved in this, because it's not just about the people who are in schools, it's about everybody. Now, the day you are even having your freedom, as they call it, from learning hairdressing, part of what you have gone through is to learn the values of your country.
All right. So we need to anchor at this point. I mean, many listening to you, as much as they may be optimistic, but they'll also like to see political class lead by example, lead from the front. Vote buying, stuffing, stealing, corruption, abuse of public office, all of those things, if they keep up with it, will definitely spoil all of what you're doing. So leading by example and leading from the front is what people want to see. Then.
Yeah, that's the Nigerian promise.
All right. We hope that they'll also promise to keep up to what they have promised they were going to do when they vie for election. So thank you for coming on. Lanre Issa Onilu, Director General, National Orientation Agency. And we wish you and your team all the best.
Thank you so very much. My pleasure.
All right. We're back in a moment. Stay on with us.
It's our biggest sales event of the year. Some call it Black Friday, Africans call it.
When you shop every day like it's a holiday, discount to prices so sharp all you want. A Black Friday like you've never seen before. Then you go and say, thank God it's Yakata.
Kunga Yakata from 1st till 30th of November 2023. Genuine products are cheaper at Kunga.
The conclusion of an election is the beginning of another electoral cycle. The 2023 general elections may be behind us, but we cannot forget the lessons from the general election as we gradually march towards 2027. Now is the time to identify the gaps and together chart pathways to improve the quality of elections in Nigeria. Do you have recommendations on how to improve the quality of elections in Nigeria? Join the Citizens Town Hall on electoral reform on the 20th of November 2023 from 10 a.m. at the Ladi Kwali Hall, Abuja Continental Hotel, Abuja, or watch live on Channel Television and Arise TV. To participate in person, register via www.yaga.org/Citizens Town Hall or submit your memorandum to the committee via inecsenatecommittee@gmail.com. You can also join the conversation on social media using the hashtag ElectoralReformNG. Make your voice count. The Citizens Town Hall on Electoral Reform is organized by the Joint Senate and House Committee on Electoral Matters in partnership with Yaga Africa with support from the European Union.
Discover Lipton's flavorful and balanced taste. We pick fine quality tea leaves with selected tea gardens around the world to give you Lipton Yellow Label's flavorful and balanced taste in every sip.
Welcome back. Turning our attention to Rivers politics, and Comrade Joseph Eva joins us next. He's an elder statesman and coordinator, Edo Monitoring Group in Lagos. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on the program today. Well, last time that we spoke with the FCT minister, he did make allusions to some relying on ethnic politics in Rivers, which he said is dangerous. So, as someone who's been observing how that has been playing out in Rivers, could you tell us what, from your perspective, you think is going on now?
Well, thank you very much. In the first place, I want to thank the media, just like June 12 struggle, just like the annulment of June 12. When the media mobilized, what happened in Rivers State, the attempts to impeach the governor, tear gassing the governor, was just like an attempted coup if we are serious in this country. And we want to protect democracy. That is like an attempted coup that the people resisted, including the media. And the governor, the former governor and now the minister also benefited from the peace arrangement like Nigeria after Buhari government. Now from north, south will now also be president. That is why Tinubu is president. It is a way to make sure that everyone is carried along. He has benefited. From 1999 to this present day, only the upland people were governors of Rivers State. They did not even allow the arrangement to make sure that there is unity in Rivers State And the Riverine people allowed it because they are peaceful people. Now, for the first time that Riverine man become governor, the minister of FCT is bullying him, and the media resisted it. The people of River State resisted it. When you are talking about ethnic, he is now saying there is ethnic coloration. Please, you are a media man, learned, experienced media man. Just few weeks ago, the minister was even celebrating that when Gumel, the Kaduna Islamic cell, threatened that the minister should leave Abuja or resign, or Shagali, Tinubu should sack him. Niger Delta people mobilized to Abuja, and he was celebrating and thanking God that his people are behind him. So why will the people of the current governor not mobilize for their own son? I don't know why he will say something today, tomorrow he has forgotten. He will say something today, tomorrow he has forgotten. Niger Delta people mobilize, including the Ijaw people, mobilize to Abuja. We told Gume, look, Abuja was built with our oil money. Nobody will intimidate Weke in Abuja. The same thing Ijaw people are doing in River State.
Well, if I could just...
the former president of Nigeria.
Yeah, if I could just ask you, I mean, you've seen leaders emerge, you've seen leaders come and go, you've observed several processes, you've seen different elections in this country.
Yes.
And you've also seen that time and again, we seem to always, at least to a large extent, insist that, oh no, my people, my town, my community, my area, my state, they must be in power. But even when that happens, at the end of the day, when that is over, the same people still complain, we don't see the kind of development that we thought we were going to get when we were clamoring. Do you think we're actually doing things right when we keep following or, trying to harp on this kind of narratives?
Thank you very much. In another way, I want to say we struggle for the emergency of this democracy. We should protect it. We should protect it. Many people are also today complaining that with the way the politicians are going about this politics, it seems as if we are not learning any lesson. But we have to fall and rise. For example, the FCT minister, current FCT minister, his project and all that in River State, we are proud of him. Most of the TV stations are applauding. We cannot say that in River State, Mwenge is a failure. Therefore, what he has done, especially in the areas, especially upland areas in his development strategies, we're also telling our son, you also have to develop your riverine area. The people, what we have to say, civil society and other to mobilize and continue to put pressure on political leaders to do something for their own people. To do something for their own people. So you are right. At least just give me 5 minutes, 1 second for me to say, I want to remind the president of today that my leader, Kokori, because of him, I mobilized the job people in the riverine area to take part in the civil disobedience during June 12th annulment. He's seriously sick. Please, Tinubu, I beg you in the name of Jehovah God, remember him, even if from 1999 to date, they did not remember Kokori. It was Kokori that made Niger Delta people involved in the Lagos civil disobedience in those days when we risked our life. Kokori is seriously sick. Having said that, what is happening in politics today, when you say everybody will say, my man should be there, my man is, it is the Nigerian system. It's the Nigerian system. Can you imagine today? There is a military university in social place. There is a railway going down to different places when Buhari was there. When Jonathan was president, we were able to have a Tweka University. These things are gradual process. They will come. But even if it is not to that expectation, when our people are in position, we have to protect them. Yorubas taught us that during the June 12th crisis. Babangida annulled June 12th. Yoruba said no, it's direct insult to Yoruba nation. And some of us joined the Yoruba people to say this is a national problem. We will not allow Babangida to manipulate and annul election free and fair election first in the history of this country. That was why some of us risked our life in that struggle. So now, it is happening in River State. The people of River State, it is the judge that will first defend their son, while the media and the other Nigerians will also gather and say, this is wrong. You tear gas a serving governor, my brother. Where has it happened? It is an attempted coup. It is an attempted coup for you to tear gas and harass the governor of a state, an elected governor. He just will not fold their hands. If it happened in Isoko, they will not fold their hands. If it happened in TV, as Yorubas did in June 12th, they will not fold their hands. And Yorubas were compensated by Obasanjo presidency in a three-party environment in 1999. One man emerged. All the three presidential candidates were Yorubas in a two-party environment. Three-party environment, two presidential candidates emerged. It was to compensate the Yorubas and beg them to plead with them because of June 12th injustice. Because of June 12th injustice. Yorubas has taught us we should not fold our hand. If some people want to come and insult your heritage, we cannot.
It's interesting,
So
Comrade Eva, the very interesting interpretations that you have given to certain historical incidents, because I also recall that in 1999, when President Obasanjo was elected president, he didn't get the votes of the Southwest, if that was really about compensation to the Yorubas. But let me ask you about this field, because you've talked about the governor of River State being tear-gassed, and you've mentioned it several times. But himself and the current minister of the FCT, we know, they have been pretty close. As a matter of fact, his ascension to office, ascension to government was as a result of the direct influence of the current minister of the FCT. So are you able to tell us what precisely has gone wrong, or what precisely has led to this feud which we witnessed in front of cameras?
Let me go back to history again. Abiola and Babangida were best of friends. Babangida won election. Abiola won election. Immediately he won the election. Babangida now say he's not interested in the face of Abiola, and he annulled the election. It's an insult to all Nigeria. Even if you are friends, now this is a national matter. This is the destiny of River State we are talking about. Even if you are offended by the actions of the governor that you supported, as a leader, you can report him even to the president of the nation. You can report your boy to him and traditional rulers and all that. There is a place in the Bible. Come, let us reason together. We expected the leader because he himself was installed by Jonathan, Goodluck Jonathan. And Mijo, former president, installed Wike as governor. In fact, the first elected governor in 1999 was also installed by his own godfather, Alabo Graham Douglas and Marshall Ali. If you carry television camera to Odili, he will tell you the truth because he's a client of the Catholic Church. If you carry television camera to Wike and say, who make you governor? He will announce Jonathan. Was it all the things that he was doing that Jonathan was happy? But Jonathan was taking him as a father. Jonathan was treating him that, this is my son, I'm a father. So whatever this son is doing or this and that, he will call him and say, come, let us reason together. You don't have to say, I will pepper, anybody who challenge, I will pepper. No, in this life, the legacies of Wike in River State.
What precisely is the root? What is at the heart of the conflict that they have right now in River State? What precisely has caused it?
Now, the former governor said that the current governor was destroying his structures. If he feel, the former governor the present governor deny it. If he feel, he can take the governor to people like Sidike Clark, the national leader of the Niger Delta. What is wrong with that? As an humble leader, you also want to be old, to be 97 years like Ike Clark. Can't you carry the governor and move to Ike Clark? Can't you move him to the president, Tinubu, and say, this boy, look at what he's doing. I make it and look at what he's doing. Can't he do that? It's just because all the whole thing is that my structures, the structures are dismantled. So if the governor is doing what well, and it is your structural matter, will everybody live forever in this world? That is what we are appealing to the current FCT minister. We are not denying that he did not help the governor to emerge. The way other people help him to emerge and they tolerated him, he should also tolerate the current governor. And we're also telling the current governor, cooperate with your mentor, your leader. You people should reason together for the sake of the state. Now, the problem we have now is that, madam, look at this paper. President Tinubu called them to order, invited them to Asura, and after that, the president traveled to Germany or Saudi Arabia. To the River State crisis, 2 factional assembly lawmakers, all separate city. That means the minister of FCT is still bent on removing the governor. It is unacceptable, and I am begging the media for me to stand firm behind the governor the way you treated the June 12 annulment. We are not supporting the current governor to insult the former governor. He judge people by culture. We don't do that. It's an abomination. And with the way we know Fobra, he's a very humble man and is loyal to the former governor. The former governor should not listen to rumors. So he should not listen to rumors.
So you're saying, in essence, that the reconciliation which the president undertook didn't quite work or has not yielded fruit?
No, that is why I'm still appealing to the president. The other day I told the president, when his mother died, I led Niger Delta leaders to his house in Ikoyi to thank his mother for making him what he is today. And that is fighting against injustice and oppression. What is happening in our River State, catching fire. Fire is on the mountain in River State. We want the president to remember that the Niger Delta people, when we went to his house to console him, we want him to intervene in this matter. Call the FCT minister to order that we don't want fire on the mountain in River State. That is our demand. Okay. And the Ijaw people will never fold hand. Just like Ekwede people will never fold hand if they want to mess up their own son. Irobo people will not fold hand if they want to mess up their own child. Okay, Yoruba nation never folded their hand when annulment of June 12 took place. Even when Babangida, madam, listen to this small history. Babangida tried to create divide and rule. I want to tell the current FCT minister, it cannot work if you try it in Ijola. Babangida installed Soneko. Yoruba say no. Yoruba say no. He's our son, yes, but we will not allow it. We will not allow it. Soneko, you are our son. We did not vote for you. Nigerians did not vote for you. Step aside. Obas were called to traditional rulers were called to Asura and this and that.
All right, comrade.
He said no.
Okay, so we hope that part of the message you're putting out is that there has to be peace in the state for development and infrastructure to develop and thrive. So
Port Harcourt is our Lagos.
All right.
River State is our Lagos.
Okay.
Port Harcourt is our Abuja.
All right, comrade.
River State is our Abuja.
We hear you. We do thank you very much for your perspectives today, Comrade Joseph Eba,
so we want peace and
elder
development
statesman and coordinator, Ijaw Monitoring Group, Lagos. Thank you for your perspective, and we hope that everyone will allow.
Thank you, Channels News.
All right, let's take a look at some messages that's come through from you. Dixon says about the state of the nation, the current economic woes that have impoverished the masses of Nigeria is as a result of the untimely removal of fuel subsidy. Nothing seems to be working in the oil sector at the moment. Fuel pump price has gone up between 650 naira to 660 naira per liter in Abuja, yet it's not available, and the queues and struggle to buy fuel liters continued unabated. We were told that the market forces shall determine the price, but the filling station owners, the forces, are determining the prices. How possible is it that NNPC filling stations sell at 617 naira and others sell at 660 naira per liter? The difference of over 40 naira per liter is huge. Is this the deregulation?
Big question from Dixon Eka. Well, Dixon, we also have news for you. The NNPCL GMD has just been reappointed by the president, so hopefully he should be willing to also, take some questions, perhaps speak to it. Well, we have this one from Kende Shomoye, and he's talking about national orientation and development. He says, national orientation should start from the National Assembly, as they are the core representatives of the people. Our national values should start radiating from them.
Well, this one is from Olaguju Oladele, and he's also talking about national orientation. He says, examining the trajectory and progress of our nations, it becomes evident that the crisis of national unity isn't solely confined to conventional warfare. Rather, a significant concern emerges as many individuals unknown to them function as automatons. The influence of social media and the prevalence of fake and half-baked news have orchestrated the manipulation of many perceptions, utilizing influencers and political figures to shape our understanding of reality, which ends up dragging us apart from national unity. Food for thought there, and there goes national unity.
Okay, well, we hear you all and appreciate your messages to keep them coming through. Well, that is the show today. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain. So, goodbye.
Thank you. I'm Malpe Ogun Yusuf. Have a great day.
And thank you for allowing us to share your morning. Join us again tomorrow. I am Bukola Koka.
Stay connected to the world with Channels TV Podcast and get all the trending stories. Simply log on to channelstv.com, click on podcast, select the program of your choice, and listen. Our podcast is available on Apple, Google, and Spotify. Tap the expertise you trust. Touch the story.